Well, he was once one of the most offensive people on air, and I mean that as a compliment for the most part. I'll explain that. Shock jock is what they called him. He called himself the king of all media. He was the anti-woke legend. And look, Howard Stern has been a figure in broadcasting since the 80s, so it's inevitable that he would change a bit in all of that time. But this guy's change is almost too much to be believed. Once divisive, extremely controversial, he went from that to, as his old friend, President Donald Trump has called him, the king of woke. Going out of his way to be offensive was Howard Stern's whole shtick, and it was what made him millions and had millions of people flock to him. Here's a prime example. Now, don't hate the messenger here. After the Columbine shootings and the murder of 12 Colorado high school students and a teacher in April of 1999, Stern took to his airwaves and shocked America and the world.
How's it going?
All right.
Is this Howard?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I lived like a mile and a half from the school, man. I had a couple friends that were there, and I talked to them yesterday.
What'd they say?
They said that it was just a bunch of chaos, shooting, and...
Boy, a bunch of good-looking girls go to that school. That guy was right. The guy who called in, he was a little too excited, but it was like really good-looking girls running out of there with their hands over their heads.
Yeah, I'd say the bomb teams are still working.
Did those kids try to have sex with any of the good-looking girls? They didn't even do that. At least if you're going to go kill yourself and kill all the kids, like, why wouldn't you have some sex?
Yeah, I would think that I would want some sex, but...
Yeah, I mean, if I was going to kill some people, I'd take them out with some sex.
No, I apologize. I had to play it, but you had to understand what Howard, if you didn't grow up listening to him, you had to understand what he was all about. In the age before cancel culture, Stern's contribution to the debate about teenage violence created a furious frenzy. The Denver Rocky Mountain News called for Stern to be thrown off the airwaves. Advertisers ran for the hills. Colorado State Senate demanded a public apology. None of those things happened. And Stern not only stayed on the air, but he continued to rise in popularity. Really explode in popularity. But to be clear, I'm not defending those words, but it was a crucial cultural touchstone to be that fearless. He was filterless, and before the cancel culture era, he remained a fixture. And he wasn't even guilty of doing anything technically illegal. He was just a shock jock. His fans were vocal about it. Now, here's the irony. And of course, we're talking about this because there are reports out that Sirius is tired of paying Stern's extremely high salary, especially since he's been hemorrhaging viewers, and he could be on his way out. And why? Maybe like Stephen Colbert. And why? Well, in one of the most ironic twists, the shock jock did a full 180 and became a poster child for woke. It's actually shocking to see the difference. He was once an unapologetic man about saying the things that no one would dare to say. And yet 25 years later, Stern became an elder statesman of American radio who became a favorite pit stop for celebrities and politicians who wanted to be handled with kid gloves. I mean, if you would have told me back then that Howard Stern would give this much of a butt-kissing interview to Joe Biden, who was so clearly in decline at the time, I would have said absolutely no way. No way Howard Stern would give him a softball layup. Yet, this happened.
Not only were you a star football player, but you were a lifeguard. I mean, you really, and you were the only white guy who was lifeguarding in this black community, right? Yeah, I mean, you were the one guy.
I was.
Your family is pretty, again, this goes to my point about, the president is the father of our country. That's something we all say. And I think your family is so extraordinary because of the way they've conducted themselves and how they are with you, that I feel you have a lot to give to the presidency. These are my feelings.
Who is that guy? That's not the Howard Stern I remember growing up listening to. Well, wait, there's more.
And I want to thank you for providing a calming influence, an organized administration post-COVID, getting that vaccine out, getting NATO, getting us to feel comfortable, standing up to Putin. I don't know what people are looking for in a president, or maybe it's that people don't feel like they're getting enough or something. I don't know what it is.
Lost his cojones. Sucking up to a man who lied to America for decades. Isn't that more disgusting than saying some of the crazy things he used to say? It's almost more offensive to defend the worst president in our history who lied and covered up his condition for years as the leader of the free world, whose family corruption was well known by then. It's unbelievable Howard Stern would give that layup softball interview to Joe Biden.